Hi, I'm Ryan LaPlante, and I'm one of the crazy founders of Dumb Dumbs and Dice, the podcast production company that's making the podcast you're listening to right now. Now, we're clearly busy. We're producing 5 weekly podcasts and a 6th event podcast, but we want to take this time to invite you to become a part of our company and a part of our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. You can get access to our Discord, access to exclusive DM and character chats. You can get the chance to name characters in our shows and vote on the way their stories will progress. You can even become a recurring NPC and hear yourself interacting with our characters each week through the voice of Tom. You can become a patron for as little as $1, and there's great value for you at even that level. So please, join the Dumb Dumbs and Dice family and help us make even more content in a way that you are guaranteed to love. That's patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. DUMBDICE. So let's do something dumb together, and thanks for listening.
I am Executron, god of merchandising, and I came into existence because Dumb Dumbs and Dice has its own merchandise. That's a god pun. Get it? Dice? Merchandise? Anyways, you can get t-shirts, hoodies, spiral notebooks, clocks, wall art, throw pillows, bags, and even stickers emblazoned with your favorite Dumb Dumbs and Dice characters and their catchphrases. There are plenty of different designs available, so there is guaranteed to be something you love. To show your love of Dumb Dumbs and Dice, go to redbubble.com/people/dumbdumbdice. That's DUMBDICE. One more time for the mortals in the back, redbubble.com/people/dumbdumbdice. Get your merchandise today. All art supplied by the brilliant Decapitated Markers.
Welcome back to Dumb, Scum, and Villainy, a Dumb Dumbs and Dice podcast where professional voiceover artists and improvisers explore the underworld of this Star Wars Edge of the Empire role-playing game. I'm your host, Blotto the Toydarian. This series features our Game Master Tom McGee, Ryan LaPlante as Abrax's Brash Core, Tyler Hewitt as Vic Denbar, and Adam McNamara as the forgetful psychopath Wakka Wakka Fonzie. The Imperial Shuttle has docked at Anarch III and the heist is underway. Vic taught a droid to make a Dagobah Mudslide. Wakka Wakka Fonzie summoned his bike while fighting a trio of Gamorreans, and Brash is attempting to charm the Imperial officer in command. There, you're caught up. So get out of my shop or spend money. No credits, only money.
So a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, an Imperial officer was having a tremendously difficult day. He was stressed. He was running on little sleep. He'd taken some questionable drugs that were said to improve mental acuity. A side effect of both the stress and the drugs he learned was tremendous yawntiness. Welcome back to Dumb, Scum, and Villainy. Where we last left off, Brash, the Falleen con man, had decided to try and exert his charms on a clearly high-strung, strung-out Imperial officer who was threatening Rango Del Mar, the crew chief of the Anarch III's refueling station, and his Stormtrooper Legion. We had just realized when our good friend Tyler spent a point of destiny that the Imperial officer is also very randy, which brings us to our first roll for this session. Roll for yawntiness.
All right, so I imagine presence and charm.
Presence and charm. So
that's 3 and 2, so that'd be 2 yellow and a green. But I'm also using my pheromones.
Yes.
So I take 2 strain.
Because Falleen have the ability to excrete pheromones that make people more suggestible to their...
Yeah. So that upgrades a charm, deception, or negotiation roll. So would that make 3 yellow?
That would make 3 yellow.
Nice.
I'm going to give you 4 purple. I'm going to spend a point of destiny to upgrade one of those. I'm going to give you 2 boost from the horniness. And I'm going to give you 1 more boost because he is a little too strung out to be truly in his right mind. But I'll give you one setback because the stormtroopers are on watch for such things.
But boom, me so charming, no setback.
Damn,
I lose one setback on all charm text.
All right, they the stormtroopers are fed up with this guy, and honestly, they're like, obviously they can't read minds, but one of them's just like, honestly, I feel like if he got laid, he'd just chill out a bit.
Yeah, I can see that guy because like his eye line through his helmet, because I know their sight is terrible, is straight at that boner. Like you can just see it from the side. I'm like, yeah, he's looking.
Yeah, it's like all the other stormtroopers are very like acutely looking around, and one of them is looking just 45 degrees lower
down the barrel of that thing.
Yeah, you notice the Imperial
It's looking
officer,
back at him.
even though he's got a gun to a guy's throat, he's like in one of those awkward like scooched forward stances.
Yeah, if he had a newspaper, it would be covering.
Yeah, exactly. Space newspaper. All right, so what are these?
All right, I'm doing some math. Okay,
Yep.
I have 2 failure and 3 threat. I have 2 advantage. Oh, I lied. I have 4 threat, 2 failure. I have 2 advantage and 5 success and a triumph.
Damn. So triumph also counts as a success. So you have a total of 6 success,
Yes.
which drops to 4 when we have those 2 failures.
Yep. And then bad guy side is
2
up
threat.
by 2 threat.
Okay, so with your point of triumph, basically gives you access to some stuff that you wouldn't normally have. Oh boy, this is our first triumph of the game, which is pretty exciting.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So they count as a success. They can also be used to trigger positive consequences. Normally, that's things like you can activate criticals. So if this was an attack roll, you'd be able to activate critical damage. In this particular instance, let's see. I know I've got a chart around here somewhere. Okay, so you can spend your triumph too, and we'll go through the mechanics of this a few times, sort of in these early sessions. But then moving forward from here, we'll also use them in more inventive ways. As
Cool,
we go.
all right.
Okay, so mechanically, the things you can do. So I'm just going to adjust my mic here. Sorry, everybody listening. You can recover 1 strain. You can add a boost to the next allied active character's check. You can notice an important point in the ongoing conflict, such as the location of a blast door's control panel or a weak point on an attack speeder. You can cause critical injury. You can activate a weapon quality, so that's on things like auto fire and everything else. You can perform an immediate free maneuver that does not exceed the 2 maneuver per turn limit, so that would be like another attack or something of that ilk. You can add setback dice to the next targeted character's check. You can add boost. We already talked about that. You can negate a bunch of stuff, but that doesn't really apply here. You can upgrade the difficulty of the target's next check, so you can make it more difficult for him. You can upgrade someone else's stuff, or there's attack stuff. Alternatively, I'm open to suggestions for how you would like to spend that triumph.
Okay, this might be too much, but I played I tried to play into all the stuff I know about imperialism.
Yep.
Could he believe that I'm an Imperial agent on the station? Or is that too big?
How much did you end up with advantage? You did, right?
I did not end up with advantage. I just had a ton of successes.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got a bunch of successes and a triumph. So yeah, sure, I'll give that to you.
Yeah, I had 4 successes, including a triumph.
That's a decent amount. So yeah, let's say that's he, or at least he might believe that you're an allied
Ally sympathizer, yeah.
So he's got the gun like in Rango's throat, and then he kind of locks eyes with you, and you can see kind of the strung up mask break a bit. And you can actually see tears in his eyes, and he runs over and he's like, "Oh, thank the Emperor!" And he just like throws his arms around you, and he whispers in your ear like the equivalent of "Hail Hydra." Like he's just like, "ISB," which is Imperial Security Bureau.
And I'm like, of course.
Oh, thank the Emperor. Oh, you beautiful, beautiful. And you can kind of like feel him pressing against you. He just kind of steps off awkwardly. And he's like, I'm sorry, we've been going with no sleep ever since we escaped Coruscant. There were pirates attacking us from all angles. Even though we hijacked the ship, they still found us somehow. They found us and they came for us. And then he just kind of like sweeps the docking room with his gun. He points it at Xanatos. He points it at Rango. And he's like, step back, you motherfuckers! He's like, listen, like we gotta get fueled up and we gotta get out of here. Can you come with us, please? I need someone on my side. These fucking bucketheads don't know. They don't know, man. They don't know.
Absolutely. Of course I can go with you. I'll just leave these fellows here to fuel up as necessary. Why don't we just journey onwards?
Onwards, we're back on the shuttle. Yeah, we should get back on the show. We gotta go.
Back on the shuttle. Here's the thing. Why don't we go out here? Because one thing I can see from how nervous you are, maybe we need some downers to balance those uppers. We could find you a nice blend that helps you stay awake, but more mellow. You want to stay in control, don't you?
Oh yeah, man, can control it. That's my middle name. Middle name's Control. And he just like sniffs at his nose, and his eyes are clearly red and kind of manic. But you can tell that he's at this point, based on how many successes you got, like at this point, he's just like it's like his mom showed up. He's like, oh, thank God, someone who can just tell me what to do.
Highly suggestible.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, okay, but you swept the station, right? Like, there's no one here. There's no one up to anything.
Well, I mean, there are two figures that are worth checking out, but you've got the men here, and perhaps we could earn back the money you'd have to spend on that fuel, so we could send you back, let's just say, with a nice little net gain.
Money? No, I was just going to shoot these guys. We can just shoot these guys, right? And he levels his gun at Nyx.
Well, those two are useful to me. You know, everyone has their little helpers out in space.
Oh, man, I had a really good helper back on Coruscant, but we had to leave them behind. Oh, God. Hey, you heard the news, right?
I've heard...
The Emperor? The Emperor's dead, man. He's dead.
I know. I'm ISB. It's a tragedy.
Oh, man.
Now, why don't you and I... We'll get you checked out medically. I need to make sure you're 100%. Your men look tired. We can get you a little stim boost.
Okay, there's no time for medical, but yeah, you know, someone to balance me out would be good. That'd be good. Hey, if this place is safe, we could all use a break. We haven't slept in a day and a bit. It's
Well, then let's find you a room. And I turn around and I clap my fingers. Fuck me. It's called snapping, but for Pauline, it's different. So I clap my fingers. I'm wearing maracas or some shit. I have finger symbols that I've been wearing underneath that are summoning somebody. And I just say, Nyx, if you could find these exhausted, loyal sons of the Empire places to rest, that would be delightful. I and my other man here can observe the ship.
They start to kind of disperse. I'm going to spend 1 point of destiny, though, and say that his honor guard comes with him. So he's got one very, the most, clearly the guy who would be comfortable standing in a brothel as this guy was doing his business, with his rifle on the ready, staying constantly alert. That guy's like, sir, I don't believe you should go alone. I'll come with you.
Wonderful. Perfect. Nyx, if you could take... Nyx is taking the troops. I'm taking him to medical. Is that what he wanted? I'm trying to keep track.
He wants to go to the bar. He's like, he doesn't... At this point, if he comes down, he's...
Okay, so I'm walking him to the bar.
Yeah.
Nyx is taking the rest of the stormtroopers to go have a sleepy.
And one stormtrooper is coming with you.
Yeah, and we've got the bodyguard as well. So I'll leave Xanatos behind, and I give him a little winky poo.
Yeah, he gives you one back, and I think it's like visual thieves can't. It's like a wink, and he taps his nose and plucks his mohawk. Which means yeah, I got this. Oh man,
fabulous. So yeah, I'll go to the bar with this. I don't. What's your name, Commander?
Thank you. Just a captain, but Captain Creve.
Just like our Emperor, Creve and Sheev.
Oh, you can't say our illustrious Emperor's name.
Now that he's passed, we must remember everything about him, mustn't we? And I walk, hoping that I can get away with this.
You're walking him down the hall. You gulp, and then all of a sudden, a fucking swoop bike just burns past you. I need you to roll an agility check, please.
Okie dokie.
So I'm going to say agility plus perception.
Well, that doesn't stand in
I'd
my
also
favor,
give
but
you
I'm down with
survival if you want.
Unless you're willing to go with Streetwise or Skullduggery, I got nothing.
I am not willing to. Sometimes checks aren't in your favor, players.
2 of them green dice.
So I'm going to say this is a 2 purple check.
I'm not using Destiny. This has nothing to do with Destiny. This is chaos.
I'm going to give you 1 boost dice for Creve because he's actually high and alert enough. Yeah,
he's the only guy strung out enough to be expecting a swoop back attack.
He's been picturing them for days on that ship.
Fuck! I told him I wasn't tripping.
Okay, I have 4 advantage, 2 threat, and a failure. So I'm left with a net 2 advantage, 1 failure.
Go limp.
Okay, so you begin to step out, and you just hear, and Creeve's like, fuck, I knew it. And so you try and step back, but also like you're wearing unfamiliar clothes, and like this isn't. You're also, I think, walking in a very arch way. Like this is definitely I'm like swooping down the hall, so you're kind of like caught flat-footed.
I've ruined everything.
Creeve manages to push you out of the way, but is hit by the bike. You hear like a horrible and he bounces off a wall. Blood splatters against the wall, and he falls heaving. Like you can see that like he's badly injured. And the stormtrooper is just like shooting down the hall at the pursuing bike. When he's like, "Sir, sir."
We need to hurry him to the medical bay. Follow me. And I like help the stormtrooper pick up Creeve.
You both kind of like squish some stuff back into him. The stormtrooper, like fireman, lifts him, and he's like, "Sir, lead the way."
Great. So does the stormtrooper have his rifle, or did he drop it?
He like holstered it.
Okay, great. I'll lead the way to the hospital. I'm cool with that.
Okay. Smash cut back to.
Why is it funny?
I just. He got hit by a motorcycle.
Oh, got it. I was like, what I did funny?
This story is taking turns. I did not anticipate.
Agreed.
It's
gonna be time for me to lead this bleeding horny man to a hospital.
I've learned my
Still has a boner.
my critical error was saying you can do one thing before the story starts. What do you do? 2 episodes later, who knows? God damn it! This is trigger cake all over again. Okay, so you, Adam, your Fonzie is facing down. The pig at your feet has managed to get his axe out of the ground. The guy with the shotgun is like cocking it with another shell, and the fighter behind them both. He pulls out a pistol and he points it to the back of Dibbs's head.
Oh no!
And he says, "I told you I want to do this in the ring. Stand down or I drop your boy."
Is Dibbs like he can't retaliate?
He's bloody and on the ground. He's clearly been like. You get the sense that all 3 of them probably beat him up. Like this isn't the work of one man.
Okay. Can I use a destiny point to ensure that my bike arrives like now?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay, so as he's doing that, it's all you hear is it's like, and my bike just gets closer and closer and closer, and I'm like, time to even the odds, and my bike like. I'm not in a ship or anything like that. I'm like around like a corner, like some alley or something like that.
Well, we're all on the station still. So
Right.
You're inside the locker room.
Oh, like, right, the locker room, right?
Yeah. So it's like down to kind of think kind of like the back of an arena. I'm thinking
Okay,
like
so there's a hallway.
Anytime wrestling cuts to like, oh look, there's a fight going on in the backstage.
Backstage is pretty big.
Yeah. It's not quite as big as an arena, but yeah, it's wide enough that like the bike isn't like coming down a 1-person wide hallway.
Right. Okay, so then the bike just like barrels in, and this is like it's like Ghost Rider's bike. It's also like on fire. It's just like
Is it broken?
Yeah, it's like it floats and it's just like all this like flames, and it kind of like zooms in right in front of me and does like kind of like a Mario Kart skid. It's like
Yep.
and it
Tokyo drifts.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Tokyo drift into the 2 pig guards in the hopes that it'll take out all 3.
Okay, cool. So you spend a point of destiny, so it arrives. I'm going to need you to roll me. Let's make this a. I'm going to make it a piloting planetary and an agility, and this is basically you trying to Batman control it off your wrist gauntlet.
Okay, I have a 1 for piloting planetary, and what was the other one you said? Sorry,
Agility.
agility. 2 for agility.
So that's 1 yellow, 1 green.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a boost die because this is a thing you do a lot.
Oh yeah, this is my go-to.
I'm going to make this a 2 difficulty check. This isn't something people are generally prepared for. I'm going to give you 1 setback because it hit Creve on the way, so as a result, it isn't following as clean an arc as you'd hope. Yeah.
Why is it so dirty?
And fuck it. I'm going to spend a point of destiny to upgrade to a red.
Oh, so what
So
do I
one
get
of the
rid
purple turns into a red.
Oh, man. All right.
All right, go ahead and roll, sir.
Oh, no.
All right. So
no.
I got, hold on, 3 successes.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, 2 threats, 3 successes.
3 threats.
Oh, I totally missed that guy. Oh, okay. 3 threats, 3 successes, and 1 advantage.
All right. So that ends up being 2 threat and no advantage.
Yeah, 2 threat and 3 success.
Okay.
Sounds pretty successful.
Sounds like a brawl to me.
Yeah, it's like
Way more successful than your magic. Not a magic guy, I'm a bike guy.
I'm still learning. I'm an apprentice.
So
Wakka Fonzie, apprentice magician.
So the bike comes roaring around the corner. It's a little more splattered in red than you remember it, but like maybe you just painted it that way. Who knows? Sweep gets up to some weird decorating. So you see it, and I think it's a classic, like you sidestep to let the bike roar by.
But very stiffly. It's just like,
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think similar to the axe thing, this isn't like I dodge out of the way. It's like I do the minimal amount I can to avoid the thing. What do you say as the bike slides past you?
have a seat, boys.
So
It's hot. Be careful because it's on fire.
So the bike skids into the locker room, nails both. You got 3 successes, so it nails all 3 pigs.
Yes.
However, to hit the 3rd pig is also to hit Dibs as well as the wall. So I'm going to spend a point of destiny. The bike, the 3 pigs, and Dibs explode. So you say that because it's on fire, and then it's just like fire rushes out, and you look awesome. Like the fire doesn't touch you.
Hey, friends, it's Ryan, but like regular Ryan, as himself, talking about Dum Dums and Dice. Yes, I'm one of the people behind this show. Obviously, you're listening to this show. You're loving this show. Somebody's doing great. Probably not me, but like Tom, he does really good work. Tyler does really good work. Third person also does really good work. I don't know what show this is on. But the important thing is that you can support the show and join the show at
Patreon.com/dumdumdice.
That's right, that address that I totally just said. Go there, join Dum Dums and Dice, support the show. It's going to be great.
And then the fire dies down, and inside it's like a New Hope with like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Just like the air smells of barbecue pork, and the room is alight, and all inside are very clearly dead.
Yes, we did it, Dibs. Dibs? And I kind of go over, and Dibs is like, oh, like he's all charred. I'm like, Dibs, get up. Poor guy, he's asleep.
you pick him up and he turns to ash.
Dibs! More magic, Dibs? Teach me, Dibs. I'm hungry.
Smash cut to the casino floor. Or I guess it's Star Wars, so star wipe to the casino floor.
That's right, yeah.
You hear kind of a rumble deep in the guts of the station. You could roll a brace check, but you don't need to because no one needs to roll brace checks in Star Wars. So yeah, you hear kind of a rumble in the bowels of the station, but at this point, the casino is like it's hopping. Like people are excited. There's just Dagobah Mudslides forever. They're made of liquor that normally they couldn't sell, so like everyone is just fucking real jazzed to be able to move this stuff. So you haven't heard anything from either Wakka Wakka Fonzie or from Brash. Do you check in with them, or do you just sit down to the table and get ready to play?
Everybody loves me now, right?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. I just love the attention. And Vic is just like, this is the mission now. These are my people.
Okay, so you sit down at the table. There are a bunch of opponents that don't even warrant mentioning. However, you can see there's a bit of competition. There is a 4-armed droid that is very stiff but seems to be playing like a mean hand. There is oh God, what's his name? They're the three-eyed goat-looking motherfuckers.
The devil?
Satan himself.
Anyway,
Gotal?
no, they're a grand. So they're just like, yeah, they look real stupid. But anyway, three-eyed goat guy. You kill a lot of them in Jedi Knight. That's mostly how I know them. Yeah, so there's a grand. He's sitting there, sort of playing with the cards, and there is a female Twi'lek who is seems to be like just so bored, like just really like not into it. Kind of like arm slung over the back of the chair, like foot up on the table, but is clearly playing very well. So those look like your three major opponents.
Okay.
Yeah, you sit down and there's kind of like a reluctant human comes over and says, hi, I was told that we won't be playing Sabacc tonight. We'll be playing space poker.
That's what I heard.
Well, if you heard it, sir, mudslides for all, right?
That's right.
All right, very good, sir, very good. So she kind of like sidles into the middle of the table and says, all right, everyone, the game is apparently space poker. That's right. Tatooine Hold'em. Let's do this.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tyler, I think you have 6,200 credits with the 4,000 that were originally staked, and you won previously.
Oh, I thought the 4,000 was split more. So
No, that was used. So because you had 1,000 to start, and then you made it up to 2,200 out of that because you won while losing.
Okay.
And then what's her face? Star?
Shatterstar.
Shatterstar gives you another $4,000 for this one. This is our big attention grabber.
Yep.
That's right. We were saving it for this. I forgot.
Yeah.
So the game begins. So obviously gambling's a bit hard to do in a podcasty narrative sense. I think, Tyler, we're probably going to say this is either cunning or presence, maybe intellect, and I would say streetwise skullduggery or... Well, I guess it kind of depends. What kind of game do you think Vic plays? Is he a bluffer? Do you personally know poker as a... I mean, you play Red Dead. You must know poker.
I know a little bit.
Okay,
I'm far from a pro in any measure. But
that's fine. I mainly ask because what kind of game do you think Vic plays? Is he actually legitimately good at this? Does he bluff heavily? Does he play it very conservatively? What's his...
I think, and I'm not saying this as like a cheap, like cop-out answer.
Yeah.
I do think it is Vic's character in that he gambles so much that, and like he lost a lot of money doing this kind of thing, but he can kind of change his play style as needed. I think, the phrase that I've heard before is like, you don't play the cards in front of you, you play the person across the table from you, especially in poker. And so I think once he figures out the person across from him, he develops a counter strategy.
Okay, so for the first roll then, I think what I want from you is an intellect or presence.
Okay.
And I would take charm, leadership, or perception. And the idea here is you like how well you're reading the table.
That's all the same. So it's 0 and then 2 for intellect.
Tom, can I spend a destiny point to give the robot an obvious tell, like a blinking light when it's bluffing? but only like Vic has spotted it, like it's not one that you'd think otherwise?
Okay, yeah, sure. So let's do that. I'm going to say that, Vic, no one would play poker with you growing up. So you bought yourself the highest end gambling droid you could. Mm-hmm. But similar to people who have mastered video games, you got so good at playing against this robot that you learned that this particular model unit actually has tells.
The exploits and things like that?
Yeah, kind of. It was just sort of accidental. It's just that no one thought anyone would possibly play enough hands of poker with this robot to ever have to deal with it. Obviously, this one has been upgraded and is clearly sentient and kind of its own thing. But yeah, sure enough, you're able to immediately identify like, oh yeah, it's still got that whirring, clicking noise when it's like computational engine is overrunning to try and come up with interesting bluffs.
Okay.
Good use of Destiny there, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I give you one point of inspiration. It means nothing in this game, but that's for you.
You wait till I use it in the other show.
I would like to spend a point of Destiny for the robot to be horny.
Unfortunately, you can only use one per check.
Okay, next turn then.
You wait till I get to the casino.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I will say then I will give you
So it's 0 and 2 right now is for the dice. So that's two green or 1 green?
Two green. Okay. And I will upgrade 1 to a yellow for Ryan's.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I've got a boost from that last success thing.
Yep.
So I've got 1 of each positive die right now.
I'm going to make this a 2 purple check.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 1 boost for Shatterstar and 1 setback for how public this is. So basically, Shatterstar has been like softly coaching you on like the sort of the other players, but again, it's highly public. So because this is like a Maverick style, like you guys flashily playing, it's much harder to analyze people.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, 2 fails, 2 successes. My boost dice are both blank. 2 threats, 1 advantage. So just a net 1 threat.
1 threat.
Everything else is canceled out or blank.
Okay, so I'm going to say you had 6,200 coming into this.
Yep.
I'm going to say you lose 1,000, but then you go up 400, so drop 600 in total.
5,600.
Thank you.
So even though you know the robots tell...
Says the droid, 5,600.
And the dealer's like, please, no math at the table.
I cannot help it.
1001.
My mother was a saint. So you lose a little bit. This is a harder game than you expected. I will say that based on the threat, we'll just call that the gambling loss.
Yeah.
So all in all, it's come out pretty even so far, but it is a harder game than you expected.
Okay. Did I learn anything in that hand?
Because you had 1 threat? No.
No? Okay.
No. And I'll say this is kind of like, we'll say that was maybe 3 hands. So a little bit of time has passed. You're actually kind of surprised that you haven't seen any of your compatriots yet. Not because I think you're thinking about the con anymore.
They should watch me play.
Yeah, they really should.
Yeah.
It's rude.
This is the main event.
You gave them
and then there's going to
snacks.
be a fight.
Is there?
Yes, 100%, as far as I can tell.
So you finish your 3rd hand, and you smell something that smells vaguely crisp and burning, and Fonzie walks in from kind of like a side entrance, covered in soot, and just kind of looking around in general confusion. Fonzie, you've just walked into the sort of gambling deck. What do you do? What do you think you're searching for up here?
I'm looking for Vic because I'm like, okay. First of all, were the pigs like also ash? Or
No,
were
and
they
I mean,
solid?
ultimately, he wouldn't have been full ash either. I just like that image of like cartoon wise, you just pick him
Right.
up and he turns.
Say Dibs goes away. The others are corpses.
Okay, so they were like fried ham. So maybe I pulled a leg. So I'm carrying
my
like one of their
God.
legs with me, and I'm kind of like eating it like a turkey leg. Before I left, also I did a weapons check because that's like my thing. It's like weapons check, and so I picked up all my remaining knives because are they still okay or were they incinerated?
How many knives has he lost? Tom?
So
So I had here's my math. I had 2 in the trick sleeves,
Yep.
and I threw 2, so that's a total of 24. But I used
That's
them.
not true.
No,
You had
you had
20 on your body, and you
Right, and
threw
then I had-
2, so that's 18. The ones in your sleeves you didn't
Was
count.
it 22?
you had 22 to begin with.
22. Okay.
Well, I mean, the sleeve ones are still in your sleeve, right?
No,
No, I used them.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
God
checked
damn
out. So the sleeve knives are gone.
okay.
I'm going to say the blackened knives you pull from the fried Gamorrean guard. I'm going to give each of them a one-time boost. So next time you use either of those knives, you get 1 additional boost dice
Sweet.
because
So
they're murder knives.
they get like 2 super knives. All right.
Yes, but they're only super one time.
Okay. I'm going to make a note. Super knives. There we go. And then also before I left, I was like, I checked for my gun and it's not there. So I'm just like, sweep. So I tell him to go get my gun, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'm like, I better go.
So sweep hands you the gun and just like sweep. And then you find yourself in a
right?
casino.
So I put it on. So I put it on my bike, and I kind of like.
Your bike is gone. The bike exploded.
It exploded?
Yeah, man, you got nothing.
Oh, I thought my bike was okay. Oh, all right, okay. So my bike. Okay, so I'm carrying my gun. I got to cross off.
Sweep.
I don't have my bike anymore. Okay. All right.
Sweep drags.
I was gonna say, how does that make you feel?
I thought it would survive. I was like, oh, so
Mourning the loss of the bike over Tibbs.
I was more upset about my bike because I really liked my bike. How sturdy is Sweep?
He's sturdy enough to drag what's left of your bike out and start dragging it back to the ship.
Okay, yeah. So he like, I'm like, okay, you're gonna need to fix that up, Sweep.
Sweep. You just see him start to sweep the bike.
Good job. So then I don't know what to do. So I'm like, and I make notes on my hand. It's like Vic in casino. It's like, okay. So then I go and I find him and I walk up to the table. I'm like, the diversion that we created isn't working. How's your diversion going?
Who's this guy?
I'm your teammate. We arrived together.
What is this? Goat face killer? Is this something you're up to, huh?
No. My diversion's in a different part of the base.
Oh man.
I need someone else to fight because Dibs used some magic and turned into ash after my bike hit him and the pig people. You know anybody that I can help with the diversion still?
Fonzie, buddy. I mean,
just imagining the
stranger.
whole casino staring.
Yeah, just like
100%
the casino's
is.
gone like dead quiet.
What are you playing? Can I play? What is this?
You hear a collective rustle of many shirts opening, and literally every person who has a gun in this bar pulls guns and points them at each other. Vic, you're kind of looking down many guns. What do you say?
So are we going to finish this hand or?
Smash cut to the hospital. You've dragged Creve in. I'm going to say he's in pretty rough shape. That bike was on fire. We didn't learn that until the next scene, but he's pretty fucked up. Can you roll me a medicine intellect and medicine check, please?
Yes. Is there no doctor on call? I really didn't expect to run this as a doctor, but I'll take my shot.
You
getting
trying
him
to
there.
keep him alive.
Okay, I've got 2 green.
So 2 green. I'm going to give you 3 purple because you're moving a crash victim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to give you a boost for the stormtrooper because he's trying to keep him steady. I'm going to give you a setback because the bike was on fire.
So all checks out to me.
Good luck.
My falling skills. Being charming doesn't make you better at being a doctor.
That's true. I mean, except if you're George Clooney.
TV doctors would beg to differ.
Except for the good doctor. Fuck that guy.
Hey, that's actually not bad. Okay, so I have a net of 2 success.
Oh, nice.
Damn, that is better than anticipated.
I had the right number of dice with nothing on them, and they were all the bad dice.
All right, so you, with the stormtroopers' help, kind of managed to keep him together. He's also on a lot of drugs, so he's hurt, but he's also being pretty pliable and clearly not feeling the pain as much as you thought he might. So you kind of burst into the medical wing, and there's like one of those like B-12 like doctor bots, those like blue weird ones from Empire, and it turns around and is like, "Oh no, was he hit by a flaming motorcycle?"
Correct. I need you to treat this man immediately.
Oh, okay. I guess. Damn it, Jim. I'm a robot, not a... So the droid just like drags him, helps the stormtrooper drag him up onto a table, and it starts administering medical care. The stormtrooper unholsters his gun and starts kind of... sort of like takes a position at the door. When he leans back, he's like, "What the fuck was that bike?"
I want to stand like I go fully erect because I realize I'm not going to be fully erect. But I mean, I'm not going to try to seduce a stormtrooper. So I'm going to play this as straight up as though I'm an ISB officer because I've seen enough of those on Falling policing things. So I'm going to play that act, and I'm like, I don't know, but I'm going to find out, and I will go and secure the shuttle. Stay here with the commander, and I'll get the other troopers ready.
Okay, so can you roll me a? We'll go deception and cunning.
Great.
I'm going to give you one. I'll give you 1 purple because at this point he's pretty convinced. I'll give you a boost for your earlier success with it. I'll give you a setback because he's extra vigilant. But I'll also give you one more boost because he's distracted with patrolling. And I am going to spend no, I'm not.
Great. I'm also... I'm going to try throwing some pheromones on this because I can use that to help with deception.
Yep.
So that lets me increase another die. I got to mark this strain as I go.
I was going to ask you about that. I was like, is this just something you do all the time? How much strain does it cost?
2 strain. So I'm at 4 now.
All right, cool.
I have 14 total, so I could poop out a lot of pheromones, but not an unlimited amount. Come on, trooper. Oh, okay. I'm down with that one for sure. Okay, that is 4 success and 2 advantage.
Shit.
Damn, son. He just nods at you and he's like, oh, thank God for ISB. So, damn, that is a lot. He's going to say, right, it's dangerous out there, sir. And he's going to pass you. He'll like flip his pistol around and hand it to you.
Great, I'll take it.
Cool. Because he doesn't like it, because you're in like, fatigue, like you're basically in a jumpsuit. It doesn't look like you're packing.
Yeah.
So he hands you a pistol and, he says, if you radio back to me, I'll rush your position and start shooting.
Perfect.
And he hands you a comlink.
Great. I take the comlink. I take the other, and I'm going to take off, dashing towards the ship so we can escape.
Okay. So you go sprinting down the hall, sort of back the way you came. There's like still kind of blood and fire on the walls from him dripping and the other things. This is all in all not quite the way you'd hope this would go. But, damn it, sometimes plans don't turn out the way you'd hoped. But the important thing is that if you know anything about Xanatos, you'll have this on lockdown. So you sort of like rush into the docking bay. I'm going to spend a point of destiny. You arrive just in time to see the shuttle pulling away. And all of a sudden, its lasers open up and just unload on the docking bay. So the stormtroopers are all like, what the? And then suddenly there's just like a blast.
Are the stormtroopers off with Nix in like a hotel, or did they come back?
There's a couple that like guard the...
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Most of them left, but like 2 would stay
like 2,
behind. Yeah. So the 2 stormtroopers get blown away. You see Rango sucked out into vacuum.
I'm sort of neutral on that.
Over your comlink, you hear Xanatos just say, sorry, kid. And I need you to roll me a... You know what? Motherfucking might be time for a brace check. So
I just yell, "You human fucker!"
This is going to be brawn and I'd say survival or cool. I'd give it to you for cool as well, which is just you kind of keeping.
Okie dokie. Nope, that's just 1 yellow because I have 1 and 1.
And this is going to be a 3 purple check.
Right.
I'll give you 1 boost because Xanatos comlinking you actually gives you a bit of a heads up that something's afoot.
Yeah, and I would like to spend a destiny point because there's no way I'm going to fucking die right now because this is bullshit.
Yeah, so upgrade 1 of your green to a yellow, please.
I only have 1 green. It's already a yellow.
Okay, so I'll give you an extra boost.
Great. Well, that's a fucking train wreck. Okay. 2 threat is the net of all of the die rolling.
Okay. So you the entire space station shakes, kind of like very violently. Obviously, like he blows out the wall, so vacuum sucking everything out. You try and kind of steady yourself as best you can, but you slip, and you start to get sort of pulled out the back. You can see like one of the stormtroopers is like holding a case to his chest, and kind of like clawing his way. He manages to like throw out a hand to you. So you manage to catch him. That said, the threat is such that sort of you and he start to slide backwards down the deck. Eventually, he falls behind you. You're both getting kind of sucked out into the vacuum. You're holding on by the case. He's holding on by the case, but he's on the bad end of it. And eventually, he gets sucked out as well. So you're just like desperately holding on to this case that he was holding. You begin to slide further down, and eventually you lose your grip, and you begin to get sucked out into the vacuum. And ahead of you, you just see kind of like the door frame that you're pulled through. And just with all of your might, you reach for that door frame. And even though it's about a meter away, you find yourself getting closer and closer and closer to it. And finally, you're able to wrap a hand around it. And suddenly the emergency blast door slams shut behind you. Everything drops. And you're left holding a case and a door frame that you shouldn't have been able to reach.
I knew I was too beautiful to die.
And that's where we'll leave it for today.
This episode of Dumb, Scum, and Villainy features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Adam McNamara at Adam McNamara 13 on Twitter, and our fantastic Game Master Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode was edited by Ryan LaPlante, and all of Dum Dums and Dice's art is by Decapitated Markers at Decapitated Marker on Twitter. That's MRKR. Our theme song is In Orbit by Chronox, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. Now get out of my shop. I'm a Toydarian. Your Jedi mind tricks do not work on me. Dum Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christian Menicola, Long Long, Jason Denson, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.